Today, we're diving into a beautiful yet thought-provoking story from your CBSE Class 10 English textbook, A Letter to God by G.L. Fuentes. They say faith can move mountains, right? But what if your faith is so strong that you actually write a letter to the Almighty asking for help? What happens then? Get ready to explore a tale of unwavering belief, unexpected kindness, and a touch of irony that will leave you thinking long after we're done. Our story introduces us to Lencho, a hard-working farmer, an ox of a man as the text describes him, living in the only house in an entire valley. His life, like that of many farmers in India, revolved around his crops. He knew his fields intimately. One morning, he was eagerly watching the sky, hoping for rain, a good downpour, or at least a shower, which was all his ripe cornfield needed for a fantastic harvest. When the big drops finally started falling, Lencho was overjoyed, comparing them to new coins, 10-cent pieces and 5-cent pieces. This shows how crucial every drop of rain is for a farmer's livelihood, much like how a good monsoon brings smiles to millions of faces across our country. But fate, as it often does, had a cruel twist in store. The joy was short-lived. Suddenly, a strong wind began to blow, and along with the rain, very large hailstones began to fall. Imagine your cricket match suddenly getting ruined by a hailstorm. For Lencho, it was far worse. These hailstones truly resembled new silver coins, but they brought destruction, not wealth. For an hour, the hail rained down, covering the entire valley, making the field white as if covered with salt. The corn was totally destroyed. Not a leaf remained on the trees, and Lencho's soul was filled with profound sadness. He even said a plague of locusts would have left more than this. All his hard work was for nothing. With everything lost, Lencho and his family faced starvation. "We'll all go hungry this year," he lamented. But even in this darkest hour, there was a single, powerful hope burning in their hearts: help from God. Lencho, despite being a simple farmer, knew how to read and write. He decided to do something extraordinary. The following Sunday, at daybreak, he began to write a letter. Not to a relative, not to a government official, but directly to God. He asked for 100 pesos to sow his field again and to live until the next harvest. This wasn't just a request, it was an expression of absolute, unquestioning faith. Lencho, still troubled but determined, went to town and dropped his letter, addressed simply to God, into the mailbox. Now imagine being a postman and finding a letter with such an address. One of the employees, a postman who also helped at the post office, found it hilarious and showed it to his boss. The postmaster, a fat and amiable fellow, also burst out laughing initially. But almost immediately he turned serious. Tapping the letter on his desk, he exclaimed, "What faith! I wish I had the faith of the man who wrote this letter, starting up a correspondence with God." The postmaster was deeply moved by Lencho's unwavering faith. He didn't want to shake such a profound belief. So he came up with a brilliant idea. He would answer the letter. He realized it would take more than just goodwill, ink and paper. He needed money. He stuck to his resolution, asking his employees for contributions, giving a part of his own salary, and even getting several friends to contribute for an act of charity. He couldn't gather the full 100 pesos, but he managed to collect a little more than half. He put the money in an envelope addressed to Lencho, and for the signature, he simply wrote God. What a heartwarming act of humanity! The following Sunday, Lencho arrived at the post office, a bit earlier than usual, confident that God would have answered. The postman handed him the letter while the postmaster watched from his office, filled with the contentment of a man who had performed a good deed. Lencho showed not the slightest surprise upon seeing the money. Such was his confidence in God. But when he counted it, his expression changed dramatically. He became angry. God could not have made a mistake, nor could he have denied Lencho what he had requested. Immediately, he went to the window, asked for paper and ink, and wrote another letter to God, sealing it with a blow of his fist. The moment it fell into the mailbox, the postmaster rushed to open it. And here's where the irony truly shines. Lencho's second letter read, God. Of the money that I asked for, only 70 pesos reached me. Send me the rest since I need it very much. But don't send it to me through the mail because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks. Lencho. Can you believe it? The very people who sacrificed their own money to help him were branded as crooks. This story beautifully illustrates the powerful yet sometimes naive nature of faith. It shows a conflict between man and nature which triggered Lencho's plight, and then the ironic conflict between Lencho and the humans who helped him. It makes us think, is such absolute faith a blessing or a curse? And what does it say about human perception and gratitude? What do you think?